Hello everyone, welcome back. This is season 21. We are in the off season. I've already gone through and released all the practice squad guys, so I don't have to do that here. But there are some players that I need to trade away. First off, I'm going to trade away Kenny McKay. So let's see, Bengals, Bills, Browns, Cardinals. You know what, let's ship him outside the division, or outside the conference. Can I get a first rounder for him? I almost can. Let's see, what else do you guys need? Left, right, defensive tackle, so they need a whole defensive line. Wide receiver and left guard. I could spare one of these guys. Not that not that they'd be interested in them, but maybe they would. I'm gonna be greedy. Nice, I like it. I got a first round pick essentially for McKay, and I got a third round pick next year for Freeman. Take it. Because actually, Freeman was a practice squad player that I decided to keep because he was a 70 overall. Next, I want to get rid of Charles. Now, I made a mistake last year in that Harrison was supposed to be the starter, and I made Charles the starter, which kind of put Harrison a little bit back from where he should have been. Charles this year is going to be free to cut or get rid of, and we need to get Harrison on the field. He's a superstar talent, actually. So Charles is just holding him back, and he's expensive. So let's try to get rid of him. See if we can send him to the Cowboys. Can almost get a first-round pick for him. What else do they want? Cornerback. We have a... Could send out favors. Okay. So we got a first-round pick for Charles and Favors. And last is Gillislee. Now again, I like Gillislee, but he's getting old, he's starting to regress, and he's expensive. And we moved Aiden Andrews over to tight end. So see if the Eagles take him. Now I am going to suffer a cap penalty for trading away Gillislee, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and eat it. Let's give them a fifth. Will that nudge it over? Almost. Oops. I'll give them the earlier fifth and a seventh. Almost. Alright, earlier fifth and a sixth, I suppose. Okay, there we go. So we picked up 3 additional first round picks. Most of them are later in the draft, though. In fact, let's go to our roster here and see what our picks are. Okay, so we have the 16th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. Look how that worked out. So we have 3 picks in a row. They're later in the draft. And we have the 16th. So there's probably going to be a lot of guys that I want that's off the board by then. So I might have to trade up. We'll see, though. First off, let's see what to do about punter. Conover is still available. Ooh, so is Calhoun, and he's young. Let's go ahead and get Calhoun. Give him a minimum contract. Okay, good there, good there. Hey, Reeves is available again. One of our old players. Alright, wide receiver. I need, I could make Ali the second receiver, but I really need, oh, we do still have McCoy. I think Ali and McCoy are about that same overall. And Vincent's young and a superstar, but I'm not willing to pay that much to compete to get him. Might have to go ahead and just draft a wide receiver because none of these guys are going to improve, and I'd rather play who we have and develop them rather than go out and sign another guy. With that said, no harm in putting in an offer for a minimum contract, and if we do get him, then that's at least a good player we have for cheap. Good at tight end. We're good at left tackle. I need to trade away Hayden. Forgot about that. How much is Hayden going to cost to trade away? Because that could be a little expensive. Out. Oh no, okay, here we go. Alright, so he's free to give away, and it's going to save us almost 10 million. Bears want him. I will definitely take their draft pick. Well, you know what? What do we have? I can send Cummings their way. Oh, it's left tackle. I keep forgetting to reverse it. I don't want Cummings though. I probably don't want Stevenson, so how about Yancey? Yancey's going to be a little expensive to cut, or well, not cut, but get rid of. Alright, so do we have any depth at left end? We don't. Okay, so let's throw in a pick here. In fact, I don't really want those two picks. Not enough to get there. We're going to have to give them a higher pick. Oh man. Alright. I didn't want to give up a high pick, but we are getting the 5th pick in the draft, so alright. Yeah, I mean, we picked up the 5th pick, gave up a second rounder to do it, but saved money in the process, and that's going to help us. Let's look at the salaries here. Okay, so we're going to have about 100 million in cap space, and only a small cap penalty. I mean, not small. That's a chunk, but it's not going to hurt us. We're still going to have money to re-sign our quarterback and wide receiver, as well as our tight end. Now we're going to have to re-sign Knox too. Actually, wait, hold on. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so Stevenson can go. We need to re-sign Peterson, Garrett, and Andrews. And then Kirkpatrick's going to go because he's going to want more money than I'm going to be willing to give him. So yeah, we'll have to re-sign those 3 main players that I kind of been dreading on re-signing, but it looks like we will have the cap space to do it. With that said, let's go fill some of our backups here with cheap guys. Preferably young cheap guys that'll be around for a little while. Whoops, not 1 year, 7 years. Okay, I need a backup left guard, and then I'm going to need a starting left guard. So we're going to go with power. Oh, this is right. Well, let's check out some of the other positions. It doesn't have to be a left guard. We can always move someone over there. I could move Cherry over there and Mulligan. In fact, let's offer contracts to both of them. Right? And then I'll need a right tackle, which if I go with vertical power run, then I think they're actually going to want a pass protector at tackle. I'm not seeing anyone young, so let's check the other positions. Okay, so Walker's fairly young. Alright, I think that'll give us the depth that we need at offensive line. Okay, I'll need some depth at left end. Alright, looks like Tyrell Kitchens. I will need a defensive tackle. Ward is probably going to get a contract offer. I'd imagine Booth probably would as well. Let's go with Franklin, and then I might go back up and offer another one to Stevens as well. Because I think we only have 2 defensive tackles, so... I guess Stephenson. No, Stevens, okay. Yeah, I was right, Stevens. Alright. We need a starting right end. I'm probably going to have to draft that position. Yeah, I don't think it'd be worth signing someone. Good there. We're okay at middle linebacker. Good there. Actually, yeah, we're good. I think we're okay at cornerback. Do need a backup free safety. I want to offer to this guy, but I feel like he's going to get a better offer than the minimum contract, so... let's offer a Holiday. And then I need a backup, or strong safety. Let's go to offer to short. Okay. Can we get a better kicker? I would really have to work on his accuracy, and I don't like having a kicker that's not accurate. Okay. The only thing I didn't offer is cornerback. Let me make sure I don't need another cornerback. Could use... Yeah, alright, I'll offer to a cornerback. Oh, actually, speaking of that, I was thinking about getting rid of Hodge. That way we could play these guys. The Hodge still has some years left on him. No, that's a $7 million penalty though. Yeah, alright. I'd rather have the other guys progress. Looks like almost every team's going to be interested in this guy, so let me see who has a high pick. Bills have 9, Browns have the 4th. I feel like I can probably get a high pick with better interest if someone actually wants a cornerback. So the problem with the Browns and the Colts there is that cornerback wasn't listed in the top needs. Here we go. Well, maybe not. Alright, Browns, let's make a deal. You need a... let's see, do I have a wide receiver I can send their way? You know what? Send Kirkpatrick. They have zero interest in Kirkpatrick. I don't want to give away any of those guys. I could give away Coleman, I suppose. I know they have zero interest, but it's possible it's enough? Nope. Alright. How about a 5? Okay, so they actually really do like Coleman. 5 did nothing. Alright. So it took Coleman, Hodge, and a 4th round pick to get the 4th overall pick in the draft. We're going to suffer a $7 million penalty for getting rid of Hodge. No penalty for getting rid of Coleman, but I do need to go get another QB here. Let's find someone kind of young. Woods? Sure, you can have a roster spot. Not anywhere near as good as Coleman was, so we don't have that security blanket if Garrett gets hurt. But we at least have somebody. So, oh yeah, cornerback. In fact, 2 cornerbacks because I don't want to have to draft another cornerback. guy's going to be a backup, but he's actually going to be better at man coverage than our starters. Ooh, and you know what? Let's see if we can find a slot corner too. I want to offer to Sean Briggs, but I don't think he's going to be available. There we go. Let's go with Daniel Saunders. Oh, I did not realize that he already had a contract offer. Yeah, we can do Corey Ricard. Alright, now we are good to progress. Fingers crossed we get everyone we offer to, but there's a good chance we don't. Okay, we got a punter and a defensive tackle. Not a good sign for our other positions. Okay, so cornerback, we need a new one. And a new defensive tackle. New right guard. So defensive tackle, cornerback, right guard. You know what, maybe I'll offer to another slot guy. Sean's still available, maybe I should have offered to him. Okay, and now we scout. Okay, so looking at what we need, I could use an upgrade at halfback. I need a starting left guard and a starting right guard. Right now I have a backup at right guard. I need a starting right end. We'll be okay at cornerback. So right end, left guard, right guard. How do the lineman positions look? So he's a late first round talent. And we have a couple second round talents here. Do I have... I could get him with my 21st pick. He probably won't be available when my third round pick comes in. But I'm going to tag him anyway. Alright, let's look at defensive line, see who we can get. Right end is a speed rusher, I believe, right? Yeah, speed rusher. He is early first round. Although I'm not seeing finesse moves on this list. No one else's first round. This guy's a power rusher, but it doesn't have much strength, nor is power or finesse moves up there. And I could always get a power rushing defensive tackle, a lot of strength, and then try to build up the his finesse moves. Wait, you know what? It's right end. Yeah, okay. So speed rusher. I don't know why I started to think we needed a run stopper. So actually, Javon kind of interests me because of that strength. Now he is a mid first rounder, but that strength, he has good agility, or no, good acceleration for a lineman, or for defensive tackle. I mean, I don't know how that computes over to end. His speed and vert jump are pretty good. Vert jump, I guess, is good for knocking down a pass, and he's 6'5". So he's a 481 speed and a 481 shuttle. Pair that to this guy. So he's 0.2 seconds slower in the 40 and 0.2 seconds slower in the shuttle. So there's a little bit of a drop there. This guy's significantly weaker, though. Let's see. What is a good 3-cone for a defense or for right end here? So 705 is a good 3-cone. Man, this guy actually might not be that bad. It's late second round talent though, so he's not going to be as good as we need him to be. So, alright, what was it? It was a 705 for 3-cone, whereas this guy has a 756. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really interested in Rayford, and I might draft him even if I don't use him at right end. You know, maybe I throw him at left end or something. All right. We also need, so it's defensive end, halfback. All right. So remember, I really wanted a power back. Now elusive back would be nice, except, and then he's the fastest back too at a 4.33. That's pretty good. So maybe I pick this guy up and a power back, and then build this guy up as a receiving back. So let's key on him. This guy had a 7.5 for his combine report, but I'm not seeing anything that stands out. Mid first round talent can be had in the later rounds, so I don't have to spend a high pick on him. Okay. Let's just quickly scout anybody that has a 6.8 or higher. Alright, I'll save those points for next week. So we got the wide receiver, center, and QB. The other guys may not sign at all. Actually, Briggs got his offer. Tyrell got his offer. Favors got his offer. Whitaker. Yeah, I'm not going to offer to anyone else. If we can get those guys, that'd be great. Alright, let's go by position. That way I have a point. It's pretty decent, but I'm not going to tag him. 7.7 for combine. And again, the only thing that's decent is, or that's high, is his vert jump. Everything else is just average. I got fish, Scott New. Of course, an agile lineman would be a first-round talent with a 6.8 or higher draft grade. Wait, was that guy didn't finish? Okay, good. Didn't finish scouting you. Alright, so we have to come back to left end. Scout that one guy. Okay, we got a kicker and a cornerback. Let me go release a kicker. Yeah, so we definitely got a better kicker, accuracy-wise anyway. Kick power is about the same. Okay. Before I continue my scouting, I want to make sure everybody that I have scouted at least a little bit, I've finished scouting them, because I found a couple guys already that needed to be finished. There's one. Oh, that's the guy that needed to finish. There's two. Alright. So back to left end. Right, go there. It's got one more person. Alright, so do I want to scout the 6'9" combine or the 7'1", even though he's 7th round and he's undrafted? Let's see. Second fastest. But you know what? I'll scout this guy. Yeah. I like it. That's going to be a gem, fortunately. Well, maybe we can get him with the 5th pick, or 5th round. I don't think he'll be there for the 7th round, though. Alright, time for the draft.
The Vikings are now on the clock. The Seahawks
So
are
they
now on
went
the
with
clock.
the right end, probably that guy that I was looking at. Yeah, they went with the right end I was looking at there, so he comes off the board. We do have a power blocker who he's a late first round guy though. Could go with Javon. I have a hard time spending a high pick on a halfback that isn't in my future plans because we're going to be going with a power back. But let's see what's available when we get to our pick.
The Colts are now on the clock.
All right. Draft board. Sort them by projected round first. Now, Tracy Sermons is probably my highest preference to get, but we can get him later. And actually, let me go make sure that I have plenty of first round talents on my board here. Could use a middle linebacker because Elias is getting old and he's always hurt. And we let Michaels go. Late first round. You guys are run stoppers. Wow. I know he's a run stopper, but wow. Could move him to left end or right end. We're good at safety, so this would be a wasted pick, even if he is good. Don't really, well, I could use a wide receiver. He's early first round talent. He's slow. For a wide receiver, anyway. This guy is slow as well, but he's strong. Ooh, this might be the best cornerback in the draft. I really might be interested in him. He's going to be pretty good as well. Alright. Before I do anything, I wanted to look at middle. What was it, middle linebacker I wanted to look at? Oh, I wanted to look at my current right end. I hate that. I really wish this went into the actual roster. I miss 2018 where it had a whole screen for that. Alright, so this guy has finesse moves. He is a speed rusher. So you know what? I am going to move this guy to right end. And then I just have to draft a left end. Okay, so we have our speed rusher. So drafting that either of those defensive tackles that I was looking at would be beneficial. And then that cornerback would be really good as well. So let's go back to the draft board. This guy all the way up to the top and move this guy all the way up. Could move this guy up here as well. I'll put him right there though. Okay, so I'm very interested in drafting this guy and moving him to left end. I think he'll do really well there. And then with my next pick, picking up this guy because that's two really good talents. Now, I could lose out on Josh Joseph, who may not be the best lineman for that, like may not be an elite all-time lineman, but he'd probably earn a starting spot really quickly. I wouldn't need Javon anymore. I don't need Kurt, but he'd be nice to have. Maybe I could get him later. I'd probably lose out on this guy. But that's kind of okay because I'm looking at drafting him. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Pick Ray Pearson right now.
The Oklahoma City Nighthawks.
So 76, normal development. The normal is the only thing that kind of sucks, but we'll live with it. And we will draft Joseph Weiss.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
76 and hidden. I really did expect him to be good. So his man coverage needs work, but he'll get there. Okay, we'll go to our next pick. See who's available. Yeah, lost out on pretty much everyone. Alright, let me see. Actually, I don't need a wide receiver, I guess. We have 5 on the roster, so we're good. Absolutely need a left guard. Could use a upgrade at right guard and a backup at one of the tackle positions. I have an extra center that I can move somewhere. Alright, so I guess we'll take one of these guys. Actually, what I could do is I could trade. Let's do that. Let's make a trade for a guard. Actually, really any lineman, as long as they're a power blocker. Yeah, any young guys that are good. So Ricky Eubanks, and he just got a new contract. Wonder for how much. Okay, so we got a 5-year deal. He'll be pretty cheap after you take the signing bonus out that we don't have to worry about. So maybe I'll go after him. I didn't see what kind of blocker he was though. Nice, agile. Dang it. They really, if I'm going to trade for someone, especially with the first round pick, they have to be above an 80. Let's see what's next. Peterson's too old. You're not above an 80. Do you have good depth trait? No. How about you? No. Let me look at these guys. Okay. I would get about 5 years out of this guy. I don't know that he's worth trading for. Just a normal development trait. Yeah, might actually be decent. Are you power? You are power. I trade one of my later first round picks. Almost. Throw in a 7. Throw in next year's 7. Oh, never mind. There we go. Okay. Then I'll move him to either left or right guard. Yeah. I might come back on Ropey. Here we go. We got a 24-year-old that's an 80. It's a pass protector. He has +3 morale. Wow. So I'd have to work on his power blocking and run block. If I move him to right tackle, I could move our current right tackle to right guard. And then we'd have pass protectors on either side. Dang it. Alright. In fact, yeah, okay. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do, even though this guy's a superstar. It's agile, though. Okay, let's do that. Let's try to get Zach Parker. Nice. You have to work that hard for that one. Alright, now let's go back to our team and move those guys around. Okay, so Parker, you're going to be a right tackle. I'm just going to make Cherry a right guard. Okay, and put Stevenson. Yeah, I'll move Stevenson over to left guard. Okay, so I need a backup left tackle. I need to move Wilhelm. Oh, he's got a point too. Wilhelm to left guard. Okay. And then one of you guys are going to have to move to tackle. You have good pass block. Well, that's pass block power. Let's move you to right tackle. Alright, so I will need a backup left tackle, which would be a pass blocker. And by trading those guys away for good linemen, that frees this pick and my next pick up to go get other guys. In fact, I could just pick this guy up as our backup tackle, because let's see, halfback, which I plan on taking with my next pick. Left guard. Oh, we filled that. Okay, so backup lineman. Wrong button. Alright. I need backup defensive lineman as well. Backup safeties, and backup middle linebacker. So pretty much everybody is a backup. So if I go through here, I have some linemen that would be worth taking. So mid first, throw you on the list. Late first with like nothing impressive. So I'm thinking probably might take Cliff Cooks here. Although I do need a, oh, you know what? Let's take Deacon Irving, and he can be a backup at both like the first backup at both safety positions.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Okay, and then with
The
this pick,
Oklahoma
I'm
City
going to take that
Nighthawks
power
are now on the
halfback.
clock.
I know it's technically going to be a reach because I can get him later, but I do not want to lose out on him.
The Packers are now on the clock.
Okay, 73 overall.
The Oklahoma City Nighthawks are now on the clock.
Make sure my draft board's clear, and it is. Alright, so we are in the late third round now, so shouldn't expect any first round guys, but maybe second round guys. Although there is a first round guy right here. So I'm going to go with best available and just take the first round guy.
The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Oklahoma City Nighthawks are now on the clock.
Alright. Pretty much no one that good this late, except for that middle linebacker, and this is our last pick, so I'm going to take him.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Alright. So I may not have gotten exactly what I wanted out of this draft, but I think we made it work. Okay, so that would put Leonard as our starting back. How many points? You're losing 1 point because you're unhappy. I don't know why you would be unhappy. You are definitely, you're faster and stronger. Your change of direction isn't as good though. Better carrying. Same. Well, this might be our starting running back. I know his overall is better than his, even without the morale drop, but I feel like Fitzpatrick is better. Okay, Sermons, it's a power back. McKell's a receiving back, right? Yeah. And then Peterson. So you know what? I don't want that penalty, but that penalty might be worth. Actually, yeah, and Leonard got hurt a lot last year. What is his injury? His injury is the best of all the backs, yet he got hurt twice last year. And actually, Fitzpatrick has the worst injury rating. Okay, so Peterson. I'm wondering what happens if I move him to fullback. I have a feeling he'd be a good utility back, but he probably doesn't have the blocking to be a good fullback overall. Yeah, he's not good. I'll move him back to running back just so that he can have a chance in his career, but I think I might go ahead and trade him away. Still need our backup left tackle. Oh yeah, defensive tackle that I drafted. So we're going to move Ray Pearson to left end. So he's only a 74, and he only has normal development. But that strength is going to help him a lot. He has good speed for a lineman. So if we work up his block shedding and his power moves, he's going to be a good left end for us. Middle linebacker, we got a decent guy late. Who's the rookie? Okay, rookie is here, Joseph Weiss. He's actually one of the best man coverage guys that we have. His zone's a little low though. Considering starting Weiss over these guys. He's a normal development. He's normal. And he's got a hidden gem, well, hidden trait. Free safety, we got our starters, and then Irving's going to be our backup in both positions. Okay, so I need to trade some halfbacks out of here. I could keep Leonard on the roster in case a halfback gets hurt, but I'm not that concerned with it. Alright. 2 yellows. Another 2 yellows. Jets are green. What can I get from the Jets? How about next year's one? Could, but it's going to put us below. I'm going to need to sign at least 3 people. I know one of them is left tackle. I know another is left end. I think another one is right end, so let's just sign this guy while we're here. Okay, and then we also need a defensive tackle. And a strong safety. Alright, now we can trade our guys away. Leonard, here's the Jets. Next year's one. Take it. And Peterson. No, not that Peterson. There were some teams that were yellow on them. Any greens? No. It's the Bills, Broncos. That's Washington and Patriots and Raiders. I want to send them within the division because I'm not afraid of him and he'll actually give us, or we'll get something good in return. Peterson and one of our extra thirds got us Oakland or Las Vegas's first round pick next year. Talk about ripping off a divisional opponent. I like it. I love ripping off divisional opponents. Alright, set this depth chart. We are going to let Fitzpatrick get the start, but I'm going to make Tracy Sermons the power back. I'll probably have Fitzpatrick be the receiving back as well, even though Mikkel would be a better one. We're going to be weak at wide receiver this year, unfortunately. We have three. Oh, we do have three left hands. I guess I didn't need one of those guys. You are stronger, so you get to stay. Newhouse is out. Alright, now the question is, which of these two sits? I really don't want either of them to sit because they're both good, but it's going to be Dorsey that sits. No, not stuck. Where are all of our kick returners this year? Alright, so Shelby, Mikkel, Kirkpatrick, Ricard, and Irving. And it looks like Fitzpatrick's actually really bad at being a third down back. Although Fitzpatrick's better at being a power back, so I'll give him the job. And Sermon's just got to sit out, I guess. Slot receiver is going to be Ali. because McCoy's our third guy. Let's go ahead and let Dorsey be the slot corner since he's that third. Well, since I demoted him to the third cornerback. All right. Something else I was going to do. Spend staff points while I'm at it. What was I going to do? I feel like it had something to do with our running backs. Oh, I was going to see how good that other elusive back was that I passed on. Don't remember his name though. So I know it was Hayward. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that it was Hayward. So, Hayward is an elusive back. Oh man, he had a hidden gem too. It's far from being a good receiving back, a power back. 94 speed, his break tackle is low, ball carrier vision, trucking is low, strength is low. Everything else is decent. He's already the 16th best halfback. He might end up being the best halfback in the league. That's alright. Wanted to compare Fitzpatrick and Sermons. Okay, so Sermons is much slower. Has better ball carrier vision. Not much better, but close trucking. I think we might be able to develop Fitzpatrick into a power back, honestly. Yeah, I think that's going to be the goal. We're going to develop him into a power back and then slowly shift. Actually, we don't need to slowly shift. We've already started the shift. Your vertical power run. Yeah, we can. The only thing that needs to make the change is our offensive line, but we have our left tackle is technically an agile guy, but his pass blocking is really high already. Our right tackle is a true pass protector. Our center is agile, and he will be for a while because he's pretty young and good. I could have swore the guy we brought in at left guard. In fact, both of our guards were... Actually, no, one was agile but close to being power, and the other one was power. So I think we'll be fine in a power run scheme. Now we just need to change the playbook. Last time we were vertical power run, I didn't like any of the playbooks, and we had a really bad offense. Now, granted, Tyler Schwartz really wasn't that good, but We'll see how we do with this one. Okay, so Ron Rivera's vertical power run. I might end up just going with the multiple power run playbook because there's not really many vertical power run playbooks, and none of them are really linked to a team that has any success. We went with Buffalo's playbook last time, and we didn't have much success with it. Let's see, this Chargers playbook. All right, let me start looking at multiple playbooks here. See, most of them are multiple zone run. Is there multiple power run? I thought there was. Yeah, so there's a multiple power and multiple zone. Okay, so Matt Rule's playbook is a maybe. The internet consensus is that New England's playbook is the um, best playbook in Madden, but I'm not sure how much I really like it. Okay, so Sean Payton's had a pretty potent offense in the past, but I don't know that I want our passing game reliant on screens and short passes when we have deep running guys. Probably that playbook would be better for us. So would Bill O'Brien's. In fact, I actually kind of like Bill O'Brien's because it's play action and deep passes. But I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh. That hurt to say. As a Browns fan, it hurt to say that I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh's playbook. Okay. And then we're still going to stick with Pete Carroll's playbook on defense. All right. I think we are ready to go. 17-9 barn burner there. (17-15). So our defense is consistently only giving up 17 points. That's good, but our offense is not producing. We've only scored 9 and 15, so far maybe that Pittsburgh playbook isn't as good as I thought it would be. There we go, we won a game finally. I did want to build up his zone once we got him to 80. I really don't like that his tackle is so low, but we can always come back to it. Okay, now that it's the start of the regular season and we are healthy, yes, and that we are healthy, let's see how the team really does. Alright, 17-14, so at least we're not giving up many points. That helps our defense out. Let's go ahead and make him a good vertical threat. Maybe the move to tight end is going to make him a little cheaper, though that might be a little much to ask. I didn't think we had any injuries, but apparently we did. Regardless, he's back on the field. Alright, let's take a look. He's going to be a little expensive, but I anticipated that. DJ Peterson isn't as expensive as I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be like $20 million a year. Looks like he's like $15 million. And Aiden Andrews ended up being $10 million. So I could afford all that. But again, this guy wants $31 million. I think he might be worth it. So 7 years, $220 million. Of course, that signing bonus is going to take a nice chunk out of my funds. Let's work. Well, actually, we're okay on offensive line. What do we need? Obviously, halfback still, but we have a rookie right now that could progress. Our line is okay. Really, there's nothing we need. What we need is to progress. We need our young guys to grow. But we don't need to draft anything, so I guess I'll focus on offensive line first. I didn't want to do agile. That's okay, he's not going to be drafted anyway. Yeah, we beat Pittsburgh with their own playbook. You know what? I forgot to cut one of those defensive ends. They're gonna put us below the required amount though. I think 48's the minimum, so I think we're good. You know, looks like Newhouse was the catalyst. Cut him, and now he's or now we're losing. So 7 years, 121 million. All right, we got him locked up. What we probably need the most, and that's a second wide receiver. That way we can drop McCoy back down to slot receiver. It's not quite good enough to be that number 2. And once I get his zone coverage to at least 80, then I'll go back to putting run support on him. And almost back-to-back games to the Chiefs. The only thing separated them was a bye week. We lost 56-10. We just played them, had a bye week to reflect on it, and then we go back and get destroyed. I don't have the funds to offer him his salary or his signing bonus. Well, you know what? We made the playoffs so many years in a row. I'm thinking it's time for raising ticket prices. Yeah, the merchandise I'm probably not going to get much more from. All of our backups got a bunch of points, so maybe that's why we got beat so bad. The backups are playing the whole game. Alright, what's the next thing to work on? This wide receiver. Alright, now that we're at the trade deadline, let's just take a quick look at everyone's stats. So Nick's having a down year. Randall's having a decent year. We've have a better running game out of our primary back than we've had in past years. So once he develops, that should be better. Receiving. Now Andrews has been hurt, although it says he's played in all 6 games. He's still not producing though. He only has 17 catches in 6 games. Is Andrews that bad that he just can't get open? Like, he was terrible at wide receiver, and now he's not that good at tight end. Like, our receiving halfback has better stats than he does. Has 10 more yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, granted, across the board, it doesn't look like our receiving game is having that much success. And DJ Peterson's getting touchdowns, and McCoy's getting yards, but that's about it. Our left guard could be doing better on blocking, pass blocking. We're having a good year sacks though. Not a good year with interceptions. If I'm going to trade Aiden Andrews, the time would be now. can't offer the salary he wants because I don't have the money to do so. Okay, so this is comparable to about what he wants. Again, I can't offer it because I don't have the money. So that's 10 million a year. And what if I offer him this? Well, I was able to get him for 10 million a year, so let's hope he starts producing, because if not, I just lost a ton of money. That's going to put me in the negatives. I'm not going to have the money to re-sign anyone else. At least the signing bonus, I won't. You know what? I like cheap guys. Dang it, I just traded for you. Well, hopefully, I did make a little over 11 million in 1 week. So hopefully we can make enough money by the end of the season to re-sign Zach Parker. The other two I don't really care too much about. I mean, I'm not re-signing Lindsay. I'd re-sign him if he was willing to accept a minimum contract. Maybe I'll offer one to him. But I'll need the funds to be able to sign Zach Parker. I should have enough by the end of the season. Alright, now Aiden, it is time for you to start producing. I've had enough of you being underwhelming. And we're going to have a expensive re-signing season in 2 years, so hopefully we have the room for it all. I wonder who's going to be a free agent next year. Okay, so next year, cool backups. Oh, you know what? I misread that. So next year's actually going to be the expensive one. So we'll have Stuckey coming up, Wilhelm, Harrison, Hess, Dorsey. He probably won't get it re-signed. And that is going to be big money. How much are they getting paid next year? So his price is going to go up. His price will probably go up a little bit if I decide to keep him. His price is definitely going up. His prices as well. I'll need to find a new fullback. We'll have the cap space to re-sign them. I'm going to need the signing bonus money though. And money, money, money. Need more of it. I still need another wide receiver. Aiden was halfway decent, I'd move him back to receiver and just get another tight end, but Aiden couldn't produce at wide receiver. We'll see how he's doing at tight end by the end of the year. I need to find some way to use him, otherwise I'm wasting way too much money on him. This guy, right? Oh, he ended up being a superstar. Look at that. I have to reevaluate my cornerbacks too, because if I'm not going to keep Dorsey, I might want to start progressing the other guy. This guy finally got a point. Get him up there and run stopping. Why is this out? So I don't really need to worry about subbing the other guy in to get experience because he's already going to be playing. Have we not had home games? I'm not making any money right now. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. We haven't had a home game. So hopefully I'm out of debt by the end of week 13. We need to start winning too. There we go. One tight end, that's going to be good. So moving Aiden back might not be an option. have 8 million now. See if it's enough to re-sign this guy. So he wants almost 10 million a year. There we go. And I'm in debt again, by the way. Will you accept a minimum contract? Nope. And I know you're not going to. Alright, so I'm going to get a warning by the end of the season, probably about debt, but I think I'll be okay. Yeah, you don't really need any more zone coverage. You do need to be able to stop the run, though. Yeah. Doesn't look like there's going to be many good options at cornerback this year. Alright, I'm done with re-signing. I need to make $22.5 million back before the end of the year. Otherwise, I'm going to be in probation. I don't want to put a point in blocking. The middle release. 84, 83. What is his release? I'm not seeing release on here. Short route running. Oh, I think we get him to 90 overall and then build up his blocking. Alright. Wonder, I'm going to check how close we are to making the playoffs. Ooh, Reggie Judge. You might be a good cornerback. Alright, so we're out of the running for the division. And it looks like we're wild card 1 right now. Raiders would be wild card 2. Jaguars would be out of the playoffs. Division out. And division. So we're definitely going to need at least one more win, I think, to stay in the playoff chase. Or to stay in the playoffs, I mean. We'll see if we get it or not. That's a game that we should have won because they were a lesser team. The fact that we didn't win that, I'm a little upset about. Why is Ali starting over McCoy? Whatever. I'll start the guy I want to start it anyway and let him get an XP bonus. Alright, this is a must-win game. Fitzpatrick is officially a power back now. There we go, we won it, we made it in the playoffs. How close was it? Alright, so 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed. We were wild card 1. Bills were the 4th seed. So we made it in as the 5th seed. Though the other 2 wild cards were also 9 and 7. So if we lost that game against the Raiders, they would have taken our spot and we would have been out of the playoffs. So yeah, it was definitely a must win. Ooh, he got an ability slot. Okay. Joseph Wise is back on the field. The only person we're missing is Ali, who's our slot receiver. Let's check stats. Nick Garrett had about not a great year. I definitely think he should have done better, but it's a new system, so maybe next year he does. And we have him for the next 7 years, so as he can continue to progress, and I'll be happy, not have to pay any more for him. Fitzpatrick had 851 yards and 12 touchdowns, so our running game looks like it's definitely coming back, although he only had 53 yards a game. He wasn't even the premier back. Looks like Mikel was. 527 downs played. So, average per attempt is at 3.5. I'd like to see that at 4. But he's also maybe not getting as many attempts as we need him to get. But hey, 12 touchdowns, I can't complain about that. He's most likely going to be offensive rookie of the year. I think we have a candidate for defensive rookie of the year too. Mikel didn't have any touchdowns despite playing the most downs at halfback. Oh yeah, let me check. Sermons had 4 touchdowns. Receiving, Peterson had a 1,000-yard year, 8 touchdowns. McCoy had almost a 1,000-yard year, 3 touchdowns. Andrews had 688 yards with 4 touchdowns. So I think that's the best year he's had. Contracts. No, it's not the best that he's done, but it's above average, I suppose, in terms of touchdowns. Yeah, I guess overall it's his second best, pretty close to his first best. We got 43 passing yards a game, 61 receptions. The top 2 guys got 95 receptions. Yeah, did we not attempt to pass the ball that much? Now, I am impressed with Corey McCoy. I did not think he's capable of being a number 2 receiver. But with that said, he produced. Overall, our passing game was down, but he did almost have a 1,000-yard year. And he led the team in catches, so maybe I was wrong about him. And he was hurt for a good... No, wait. Ali was hurt for a good chunk of the time. So we'll see next year. Chris Cox gave up a lot of sacks this year. Now, granted, he is still progressing as a pass blocker. He's primarily an agile blocker. But I think as he continues to progress and we get a few more years in this offense, I think we'll be okay. I don't know if it really even matters how long you've been in an offense. Like, there's obviously no visual skill to say, hey, your team is this this efficient or this familiar with set offense or defense. So I don't know if changing it around sets them back at all, or if changing coaches sets them back, but it almost feels like it does. And I know in real life it definitely does. So our linebackers led the team in tackles. They did really good as far as eating up tackles. Then the next 4 were all defensive backs. Cummings has not been that great since we moved from a Tampa 2 to a base 4-3, which is unfortunate because he's the best linebacker we have. He did grab 2 interceptions, though. All right, how about sacks? Chris Hess and Landry had 7.5 sacks. I'd like to see a little bit more, especially out of Hess. Cummings did have 5 sacks, so I guess he had a decent year rushing the passer. Clyde Peck with 4 sacks. A rookie, Pearson only had 2 sacks and 24 tackles, so still not getting good production. Oh, I didn't check interceptions. So we definitely had a down year on interceptions. Our right outer linebacker led the team. You'd like to see the defensive backs lead the team in interceptions. And actually, our linebackers had 7 of our 11 interceptions came from the linebacker position. So our defensive backs dropped the ball. Pun originally unintended, but once I realized it, I definitely intended it. All right. Kicking, that's a pretty good year. Didn't attempt too many, but he made most of them. 14 out of 15. Jamie Calhoun had an okay year punting. So it was a down year. Definitely a down year for us. We need to get better, that's for sure. Let's see if we're a one and done again. Okay, made it to the second round, and I am still in debt. Doesn't look like that's going to change because we're going to be on the road the whole or the whole preseason, postseason. So he's up to an 83-man coverage already. What's his catch? His catch is 63. I can't get a good coverage cornerback with high catch, and every good catching cornerback I get has bad coverage. Yeah, I want one more zone coverage point for him. There it is, and then from here on out, full-on run support. All right, it'll be a tough game. Yeah, it was a tough game. Gave up 50 points. Let's see, Corey McCoy. Let's start progressing you as a deep threat since right now you're our number 2 guy. I don't see us getting another wide receiver that's going to be a number, or going to take that number 2 away. Cal got hurt. We do have to re-sign our guys here. Luckily it'll let me do it with negative $6 million. I don't have the warning yet, but it's probably coming soon. Okay, re-signed our staff. That's weird. Now that we're not playing, we're making money. I guess we don't have to pay the team their game checks when we're not playing. So whereas an away game we still pay the game checks, so we don't really make any money. Must not have won any awards because nobody got a point. Nobody on the top for MVP, and our coach certainly wasn't there. Gerald Brown got second for Defensive Player of the Year. Fitzpatrick, oh man, he only got second. Dang it. I thought he would have gotten first with those 12 touchdowns he had. It's a lot of touchdowns. I mean, we've had veterans that didn't get that many. Pearson was sixth. I thought Wise would have had a chance, but he was hurt for a while. And he didn't really even produce that much. Best quarterback, Nick Garrett was 7th. Fitzpatrick was the 4th best running back. Peterson, 5th best wide receiver. Did have a couple guys on the top of offensive line. Defensive line, no. Brown was up there on linebacker. And Tucker was up there for kicker. Why doesn't the punter get an award? Alright, so that was a really bad year, even though we made it to the divisional round. I guess any year they make the playoffs isn't a bad year, but I definitely think it could have been better. Now, I don't want to get rid of our safeties because they're both superstars. I think they're both superstars. But we'll have to see if I can even afford to re-sign the one. And it does look like I made just enough money to not be in the debt at the end of the season. So I didn't get a warning. Nobody to re-sign. All right, so that is the end of season 21. Yeah, you know, there's not much we can do this all season to get better, other than maybe bringing in a better second wide receiver. And then on defense, there's nobody that we can bring in to get better because it's just we have a young team. You know, let's if I sort by age, we have we have some guys here that are in their later stages of their career, and we have some guys that are here in the prime. But if I sort by overall, we have a lot of guys that are really young, 25 and younger, and that's the problem right now is we haven't progressed. Most of our top talent are still younger guys. So once we actually do progress, then we can start dominating again the way we used to at the start of the series. Wow, Shelby actually ended up being our 4th best wide receiver. Looks like our wide receivers are fairly cheap. Man. I don't know how Shelby shot up there to be a 79 overall. McCoy's probably not going to get that much better. Even though he's been producing. That's the only reason I don't want to pull him, is that he's produced every single year. Like, if we look at his career stats, the first few years he was developing, sure. But I mean, he's gotten touchdowns like every year. And then last year as a slot receiver, he had a 1,000-yard year. This year he almost had a 1,000-yard year as number 2. 9 touchdowns as a slot receiver. So, I mean, he deserves to have a spot on this team in the top 3. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there because this video kind of feels like it's already on the long side. So, thank you for watching. Tune in tomorrow so we can see how we progress and see what I do to address that second wide receiver slot. Who knows? Maybe I trade for one. Maybe I draft a wide receiver that I think would be a good tight end, and then I move Aiden Andrews back. Or maybe I just draft a good wide receiver. Or maybe I trade for a tight end. Who knows? Before we adjourn here, let's look up Gillisley and see just how good he is now, because he was young. I think he was young. So Aiden Andrews is the 2nd best tight end in the league, pretty close to being the 1st, and he still has 5 years on that guy. But where is Joe? Okay, so I guess Gillisley wasn't. He was a 31 overall. Are there any? So Brad Mitchell, that's a 79 speed. That is slow. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll take care of that our next video. Thank you for watching this one. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.